Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to a brand new Decode. Today we're going to be taking a look at the numerology surrounding the Vanderbilt family. And if you did not know, Anderson Cooper, the famous CNN mouthpiece, he was a part of this notorious American family, one of the richest in American history, to be honest. But today, specifically in this video, we're going to be looking at the connections numerologically between Anderson Cooper, Gloria Vanderbilt, his father, and his brother, who died very mysteriously at a young age, which we're going to be diving deeper into this video. And the most mysterious of all, and the most exciting part of this decode of all, is the implications that Kathy Griffin may be related to Anderson Cooper, may be the daughter of Gloria Vanderbilt, or possibly at birth a male, then transitioned to female. Stay with me. I bring some receipts. I bring some juicy details. So let's hold on and let's get into this video. Firstly, let's look at some of the symbolism in this children's bedroom. You know what I've always said, ever since a young age, if you're going to have a child's bedroom, you better have some sacrifice depictions taking place on an altar in your kid's room. With the subtle nod to the pillars of Freemasonry, the sun and the moon on the sides, keeping all of this in sync in the middle, with this high priestess of some sorts sacrificing and burning someone at an altar. We'll just leave that as that. That speaks for itself. So for those of you who have been watching my videos on my channel recently, you would be able to notice that we've sort of discovered this code that seems to be playing out whenever there's a blood relation between individuals. The numbers being 33 and 911 playing out constantly in my personal life and these celebrity decodes. So starting off here, let's just look at the obvious that we already know is existing with Gloria Vanderbilt, their father, and Carter and Cooper Anderson here. If we're going from the top here, if we go from January 27th, 1965, that is the birth of Carter Cooper, to his mother's birthday on February 20th. It is 3 weeks and 3 days. From June 3rd, 1967, Anderson Cooper's birthday, to his brother's birthday on January 27th, it is 7 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. Then, going from January 27th, 1988, to July 21st, July 21st being the last day that Carter Cooper was alive. Now to finish off the 33s for this portion of the decode, exactly 30 years and 330 days after Carter Cooper died, his mother then dies. Up to the 911s now. 1 month and 19 days before the death of Carter Cooper was Anderson Cooper's birthday. 10 years and 199 days after Carter Cooper died, his father then passed away. And then Carter Cooper's birthday then taking place 11 months and 9 days separated from his father's death. Now, before we get into the numerology specifically behind the death of Carter Cooper, let's take a look at the numerology with Kathy Griffin involved within this family line. Firstly, just appearance-based, if you were to throw a wig on Anderson Cooper, he could pass as Kathy Griffin. Both blue eyes, those noses are just about identical. The eyes, the smile, the chin point, everything is identical. And just throwing the photo of Carter Cooper in here too, who died at 23, also sharing some very striking visual resemblance here. To get very theoretical and conspiracy theory based on this, could Carter have really just been reinvented as Kathy Griffin? You know what? This was a quote by Gloria Vanderbilt, so I wouldn't say it's too far-fetched. On September 19th, 2011. Yep, 9/19/11. 9/11's even encoded the day that she made this quote. On that date, Vanderbilt referred to comedian actress Kathy Griffin as her fantasy daughter. You can connect the pieces yourself. Fantasy daughter, just can't publicly announce that this is her daughter, or maybe Carter Cooper just transitioned and reinvented. Now, to take a look at the numerology between Kathy Griffin and this entire Vanderbilt family, once again, it respects this code of genetic relation that we have discovered. If we look up here, Carter Cooper's birthday is 9 months, 1 week, and 1 day before Kathy Griffin's, and Kathy Griffin's birthday is 2 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days after Carter Cooper's birthday, respecting this 9/11-333 code. Up to the top here, at the bottom here, January 5th, the date that their parents died, Carter and Anderson, potentially Kathy's father too. He died January 5th, and that is 303 days after her birthday. And if we are to go by the official narrative of her birthday that they give us, November 4th, then Wyatt, the father of Anderson and Cooper, was 33 years old on that day. Now, much like my Nick Reiner decode, where we suggest and explore the possibility that MK Ultra and Project Monarch played a role in his mental breaking in the murder of his parents, we start to see some of that hidden symbolism playing out again in this Carter Cooper case. Just look at this photo here, right? You may see unsuspecting and alone without what I'm about to show you afterwards, meaningless, but look at the top there. There's a nice butterfly right between Gloria and the kids there, right? On its own, nothing, but let's look a little deeper. As mentioned, Project Monarch, MK Ultra, is symbolized by the butterfly. To be an MK Ultra sleeper agent, to be taking part in these evil experiments, the butterfly is a symbolic symbolism of those experiments. The Vanderbilt butterfly is a very famous symbol associated with the Lucretia Vanderbilt cosmetic line there. It was on all of her products and very prominent on a lot of gowns that her and her husband also wore. Not only that, but Gloria, the mother of Carter, then adopted this symbol and put it on a bunch of her fashion designs and was often referred to as a monarch butterfly. Monarch. Now, what we're seeing up here, these are excerpts from Gloria Vanderbilt's book, where she then describes the scenarios and what was happening leading up to her son's suicide. So bear with me as we read through this, because there's some very strange behaviors that he exhibited leading up to it, which might have been a product of these experiments, and then waking up and realizing what has been happening to him all this time. So, about 7 p.m., Carter, awake, entered his mother's room looking dazed and asking several times, "What's going on?" After a short conversation in which Mrs. Vanderbilt attempts were to soothe and orient her son, Carter took off running up the stairs to his bedroom. His mother arrived swiftly behind him. She found him sitting on the low wall of the terrace, one foot on the floor, the other on the wall. Another short conversation ensued, attempts on the part of his mother to get him away from the wall. He stopped her concerned approach with arms held in military gestures for stop. He wondered, "Will I ever feel again?" Very odd. He stood with a terrible, rigid tenseness staring past her, past the river, as if he didn't even see them. Mrs. Vanderbilt suggested calling his new therapist, but he couldn't remember the number. Carter shouted out the number, then said, "Fuck you." He stared down as if mesmerized by the scene 14 stories below. He jumped 14 stories to his death from his mother's apartment. Remember, number 14, okay? A helicopter passed overhead. Carter looked up and back at his mother. He reached his hand out longingly to her. Then he moved deftly as an athlete over the wall, holding onto the edges as if they were a practice bar gym, holding firmly and confidently. Then he let go, falling to his death. So he committed suicide by jumping off the 14th story of his mother's apartment. And what page did she write that on? 104? 14104? Oh, we're just getting started. So Carter Cooper jumps from the 14th story of his mother's apartment as explained in the 104th page of his mother's memoir. And as we look here, this family is so encoded with the number 14. Is this a karmic way of it playing out and sort of showing what happened, the wrongdoing that potentially took place to him, or intentionally having these things encoded as a way of absolving karmic payment in what was done in faking his death and having Kathy Griffin live out as this person? I don't know. That's a lot of speculation, but all I do know is that he jumped off the 14th story. It was written in the 104th page of his mother's memoir, and Kathy Griffin, who was born on 11/4, has her birthday 140 days before the death of Gloria. Then we have the death of his father taking place 4 months, 4 weeks, and 1 day before Anderson Cooper's birthday. Then, going from the death of Carter Cooper to the birthday of his father, it is 41 days. If we go from the birthday of Carter Cooper to, once again, Kathy Griffin's 11/4 birthday, it is 40 weeks and 1 day. From Anderson Cooper's birthday to the death of his mother Gloria, it is 14 days. From the death of his father to the death of Gloria, it is, correction, his father died 41 years before the death of his mother. And then at the bottom here, Gloria was 40 years, 11 months, 1 week, and 1 day old on the day that Carter here was born. What do you guys think, man? This is a juicy one. I am just about to run out of time on this TikTok, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully that came across as best as it could. It's a lot of information to memorize. I got 10 seconds. Leave your comments and your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.